behind her smile. Foundations of trust. I met Sophia on a rainy Wednesday in March during my third year of med school. I remember it vividly because it was the kind of day when everything felt heavy: my books, my thoughts, the sky itself. I was running late to a guest lecture on neurodegenerative diseases, one of those talks you attend just for the attendance mark. I rushed into the auditorium and scanned the seats. Most were taken. Then I saw her, sitting near the middle, a blue notebook open on her lap, earbuds in. She caught my eye just as I took the seat beside her and gave a polite nod. 15 minutes into the lecture, the professor said something about how the brain remembers pain more vividly than pleasure. I muttered, "That explains a lot," half to myself. She heard me, chuckled softly, then scribbled something on her notepad and passed it to me. It said, "Or maybe it's just trying to keep us from repeating our mistakes." That was the beginning. We started talking after class, then messaging, then studying together. Sophia wasn't loud or showy. She had a quiet kind of charm, the kind that grows on you slowly. Her eyes were thoughtful, her voice low and calm. She always seemed to be watching the room, not in a suspicious way, but as if she was collecting fragments of every person she met. By the end of the semester, we were inseparable. My roommate joked that I had become a Sophia-holic, and maybe I had. She had a way of making me feel understood, not just heard. She didn't just ask how my day was, she asked how my thoughts were. She remembered little things, like how I liked my coffee, black, no sugar, or that I hated when people tapped their pens during exams. Sophia was studying psychology. She was good at it. Not in a manipulative way, at least not that I saw at first, but in how she seemed to intuit what people needed. With me, it was patience. I was a perfectionist, often harsh on myself. She balanced me out with her softness, her reminders to slow down, to breathe. Our relationship moved fast, but it never felt rushed. Within 4 months, she had a drawer in my apartment. Within 6, she had a key. My parents loved her. My friends admired her. Professors called us a power couple, the ambitious med student and the brilliant psych mind. We looked like we had it all figured out. And for a while, we did. We built a routine. Monday night dinners. Saturday morning runs. Shared Spotify playlists. Evenings spent reading side by side. She'd edit my essays. I'd quiz her for exams. We laughed a lot. Fought rarely. Slept tangled together like we couldn't bear to be apart. And yet, even in the comfort, there were small things. She never posted about me. She said she preferred privacy. She once borrowed my laptop for her stats project and left her email open. I saw a message from a guy named Ben. Just a classmate, she claimed. She rarely let me see her phone. It's just clutter, she'd laugh. I ignored it. Because love makes you believe things. It makes you want to trust, even when your gut whispers otherwise. In December, I applied for a summer research grant in Boston. It was my dream, working with one of the leading neuroscience labs. Sophia was supportive, helped edit my proposal, encouraged me at every step. When I got the interview, she cried with happiness. But something changed after that. She became distant, less affectionate. Her phone buzzed more often, and she always turned it face down. I asked if something was wrong. She said she was just stressed. So I held her tighter, thinking I could love her through whatever storm was brewing. I had no idea I was already in the eye of it. Part 2, Beneath the Surface. Winter break arrived, and we stayed in the city. Most of our classmates had gone home, but we said we'd rather have the time to ourselves. We planned movie marathons, worked on our separate projects, and bundled up to walk around the half-empty campus under the quiet snow. But things didn't feel quiet between us. Sophia smiled less. She got irritated more easily. She no longer laughed at my jokes the same way. Sometimes I caught her staring into space, her phone in her hand, her eyes unfocused. When I asked what was going on, she said, "Don't make this about me. You've been distant too." I tried to believe her. Maybe I was distant, distracted by interviews, applications, the pressure of med school. But a part of me knew that wasn't all. She was pulling away, even as she said she loved me. One night, I got up around 2 a.m. to get water. Her laptop was still open on the kitchen table. The screen had gone black, but when I brushed the trackpad, it came to life. There was a chat window still open. Messages from someone named Ben again. This time, they weren't academic. They weren't even subtle. "Ben, wish you were here tonight. Last time was insane." "Sophia, me too. He's asleep. Might sneak out for a bit." "Ben, tell me when. I'll be outside." "Sophia," red heart. I stared at the screen for what felt like an hour. My hands shook. My chest felt tight. I scrolled up, hoping maybe this is old, maybe I misunderstood, but it was dated 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago, when she told me she had cramps and just wanted to stay in bed. The betrayal wasn't loud. It didn't scream. It just settled over me like frost, cold and cruel. I took a screenshot. Several, actually. I didn't know why. I wasn't sure if I'd confront her. But I needed something to hold on to. Proof that I wasn't losing my mind. That morning, I didn't say anything. I watched her get dressed, kiss me on the cheek, and say, "I'll be back after class." Her smile looked real. Her lie tasted like honey. For the next week, I lived in limbo. I didn't confront her. I couldn't. Not yet. I wanted to be sure of everything. I started watching. I checked her phone when she showered. I saw deleted messages, new ones from Ben and another guy named Marcus. I found hidden albums in her photo library, locked under Face ID. When she went to bed early, I stayed up, reading every word, every line. The story she had told me began to unravel. Nights she was at study group, were nights she was at someone else's apartment. Afternoons she said she was journaling in the park, she was taking selfies in a mirror that wasn't mine. But the worst part wasn't just the cheating. It was that she had been collecting information about me. I found files on her cloud storage, folders labeled Grand App, proposal drafts, and even one called Passwords. She had screenshots of my emails, even old test papers I didn't remember sharing. At first, I didn't understand. Then I got the email from the Boston Research Committee. "We regret to inform you that your application has been rejected due to concerns of original authorship." A formal complaint was submitted citing multiple passages directly lifted from previously published work. I was stunned. I hadn't plagiarized anything. My proposal was built from my own work, my research, my ideas. I demanded clarification. They sent me a copy of the complaint. It was filled with highlighted text and citations, most referencing an obscure doctoral thesis published in the early 2000s. Text from my proposal had been linked line by line to the thesis, though I'd never read or even heard of it. The coincidences were too perfect. Someone had framed me. It was the kind of thing only someone with access to both my files and obscure academic sources could do. Someone who wanted me disqualified, not just rejected. That night, I confronted her. I showed her the complaint. I asked how it had happened. Her face went blank. Not scared. Not sorry. Just empty. "You weren't supposed to find out," she said, barely above a whisper. I stared at her, speechless. "You were leaving me behind," she said, voice rising. "You had everything lined up, Boston, your future, your perfect life. You wouldn't have needed me anymore. I gave everything to this relationship. And you were going to outgrow me." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "You think this is love?" I asked. "Sabotaging my future? Sleeping with other people behind my back?" I panicked, she said. "I didn't know what else to do. You ruined me." She started crying. But I didn't feel bad. Not anymore. Not after everything. "I'll tell them the truth," she said. "I'll send an email, say I made it all up." But the damage had already been done. The review panel had closed their selection. The position had gone to someone else. There was no undoing it. And Sophia? She moved out the next day. Part 3. The Quiet Collapse. After Sophia left, the apartment felt too big. Her drawer was empty, but her scent lingered. Her mug sat in the sink for days. I couldn't bring myself to wash it. I didn't tell anyone for a while. Not my parents, not my best friend, not even my academic advisor. How do you explain something like that? That someone you loved, trusted, had dismantled your life from the inside? I started waking up in the middle of the night, heart racing, expecting to see her lying beside me. Sometimes I'd hear footsteps in the hallway and think she had come back to apologize, to say it was all a terrible mistake. She never did. 3 weeks later, I saw her on campus, walking hand in hand with Ben, laughing, carefree, as if nothing had happened, as if she hadn't burned me to the ground and walked away whistling. I didn't approach her. I couldn't. I just stood there, frozen, watching the person I thought I knew become someone I didn't recognize at all. I eventually told my advisor what happened. She was sympathetic, but said the panel's decision couldn't be reversed. "It's not just about the content," she said. "Once academic integrity is questioned, trust is hard to restore." Trust. That word haunted me. The only thing I had left was a pile of evidence, screenshots, logs, messages, but I didn't want revenge. I didn't want her expelled or shamed online or publicly humiliated. I just wanted peace. And maybe closure. But closure doesn't always come. I deleted her contact. Blocked her on everything. I thought that would help. It didn't. Memories are more persistent than people. In March, nearly a year after we first met, I received an anonymous email. No subject line, no body text, just an attachment. It was a video. Sophia, sitting in a room I didn't recognize, talking to the camera. Her face was pale, drawn. "I don't know if you'll ever watch this," she said, "or if you even care to, but I wanted to say it." She confessed everything. How she'd used my documents. How she'd copied parts of an old dissertation to make the proposal look plagiarized. How she'd sent the complaint from a fake email account, using a VPN to hide her IP. "I didn't plan it," she said. "Not at first. I started feeling like you were slipping away, like I wasn't enough. And I got scared. I wanted to make you stay. I thought if your path forward disappeared, maybe you'd turn around and still be here with me." There was a long pause. Her eyes filled with tears. "I was wrong," she whispered. So wrong." The video ended. I watched it twice, then a third time, and I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no triumph, just exhaustion. I never replied. Instead, I poured myself into my work. I reapplied for the program the next year, this time with a new proposal and a bulletproof bibliography. I got in. I flew to Boston. I started over. But I wasn't the same person. I was quieter, slower to trust. I kept parts of myself hidden, afraid that if I gave too much, someone would use it against me again. Still, I moved forward. I met new people, made new friends, fell in love again, not right away, but eventually. And when I did, I was honest. I told her about Sophia. Not all the details, but enough. Enough to explain the shadows I carried. She listened. She didn't flinch. That was the beginning of something better. Epilogue. Years later, I got a letter. No return address. Inside was a single page. "I hope you're well. I heard about your research being published. I'm glad you made it. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I wanted to say thank you for not destroying me when you had every reason to." I didn't respond. I didn't need to. Some wounds don't heal, but they stop bleeding, and that's enough.